All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. Coming to you live at a proper hour for a change. It is just under 11 a.m. New York. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another. Guess some things don't change. And um, yeah, wanted to do it a little bit earlier for the New York hours, but had a couple of calls, and here we are. I am at a slightly more convenient time zone for the US market. I am now in Europe instead of being in the Middle East. So I will try to bring you more consistent videos, but the next 3 days is the big AIBC event. I am a speaker. I debated Roger Ver here back in 2019. Too lazy to go get you guys a really good view, but maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow with a nice view out my balcony. All right, let's go to the charts. I haven't done private Q&A in a long time. If I don't do one this week, I will certainly do a few next week when I am back in North America for a little while, at least for the holidays. Also, the videos from Understanding Bitcoin have been edited, but I have not had time to review them and post them up and promote them. There will not be any videos from the Financial Summit, which went so well. Anyway, it just crushed everyone's expectations, including my own, and my expectations are pretty damn high. All right, let's go to the charts. I'm only at 200 live viewers. Getting up to 250 now. So that's good. Viewers are slowly coming back since I've been MIA for quite some time. Okay, monthly chart looks very bullish. Remember, last month we had a beautiful green star candle. We are above all moving averages. They are all rising. In case you're curious which moving averages I am using on a monthly scale, they are the 7, the 20, and the 50. Quick peek at the Heikin-Ashi charts. They seem to be reacting a little bit better with the MRI indicator, perfectly calling numerous tops and bottoms. Not that one, though. Did catch extension C. But pretty much everything since then, that's a perfect top. That's a perfect bottom call. Not the best top call here. Kept going higher. So let's see what happens next. I'm still sticking to it, guys. 100,000 by end of year, and we got about, what, 6 weeks to go. Man, time is flying. Time is flying. That's the monthly chart. Let's go back to the regular candle and weekly chart. Weekly chart is one of my top 2 charts I look at. This in the daily, as you can see, last week we broke the MRI resistance line. That is one more nail in the that makes no sense at all. That is another bullish indication. Usually when you put a nail in a coffin, as the phrase goes, that's when something is about to collapse. Bitcoin is doing the complete opposite of that. The weekly chart is above all 3 moving averages. They are all rising. If you haven't seen my video in a while, the moving averages I use on a weekly scale are the 7, the 50, and the 20. They are in crazy backwards order, so I might as well alter it now. The 7, the 20, and the 50. And there they are. Okay, let's stick to this. We are above all of them. They are all rising. This red line indicates potential trouble if we start trading below the prior candle's low. I'm not that concerned at the moment of us going below this low of 62.5. I do believe that we are going to break out in the very near future, but I will leave this as a stop loss. It would also be, a close below that 7-period moving average. The 4-day chart, is our allocation chart, is my allocation chart into a position trade. Position trades are for the less active trader. And that is what I'm using mostly in my retirement fund. But because my investment is in GBTC, I am waiting for that premium to go above zero. So therefore, I probably would not be lowering my allocation at first sign of trouble. I will hang in there, waiting for that premium to go to zero. After that, I would switch to a different ETF because I don't want to deal with a negative premium in the future. So I remain 100% bullish. Yes, the current candle is below the 3-period moving average, but it still has 1.5 days left. And I will not make any decisions until this candle closes, unless we start crashing down below $61,000. I do not foresee that happening this week. The daily chart has a slightly more bearish picture now that I look at it. And this is not a good candle. This was looking certainly like a great candle, but right now, there could be a little bit of trouble if we fall below this purple line. The purple line is currently sitting at $63,330. I am going to go ahead and give this a little more leeway. We have already bounced off of this area a few days ago on the 12th of November. It's going to be very tricky to bounce off this area again. Let's zoom out the daily chart and we see this massive consolidation. What I am going to do is I am going to use a horizontal channel on this. I could probably use a, no, that's also going to be tricky. Yeah, there's really no good way to draw this. So I am actually going to draw a horizontal channel that gets broken on both sides, the top and the bottom. So I'm going to pick the best fit line and ignore 2 candles breaking that line. This is my channel. And now I'm going to remove this purple line. Instead, I remove the channel. Let's get that purple line. Okay. And you can see how the middle of this channel, we already bounced off that channel. It's exactly where that purple line was. And I want to break the maximum number of candles. Sorry, I want to touch the maximum number of candles without breaking any bodies of those candles. But you can see how I'm breaking 2 bodies on the bottom end, and I'm compensating for that by breaking 3 bodies on the upper end. As long as we stay in this channel, I remain somewhat bullish in Bitcoin. So if we stay flat and oscillate between 60,000, I have to move up to see the numbers, and 66,000. As long as we stay within this channel, I will anticipate a big breakout. But the closer we get to the 50-period moving average, the better the stronger position we are in. Bitcoin, or any asset for that matter, corrects in one of 2 ways: price or time. If this is a time correction, that's great. Over here, we had a time correction. Back in August, September, we had a little bit of a dip, and then we took off to the upside. You can see how my arrows matched it pretty damn well. Now, I did expect us to correct with price in early November, late October, early November. We did not correct with price, but we are continuing to correct with time. And this is my next arrow. So just like over here, we started going up a little bit earlier, then we fell, but then we caught up to the arrow. I'm sticking with this arrow. And if we continue to consolidate and hit the arrow, that means the price of Bitcoin is still sitting below 64,000 at the end of November, going into Thanksgiving, the big US holiday. And then I expect it to go up towards 100,000 into year-end. So I remain bullish. I'm going to take a look at the oscillators. I will look at the funding rate. Look, the funding rate's gone. The funding rate's turning bearish. That is an incredible sign for the bulls, and I remain very bullish Bitcoin here. The hourly chart looks horrendous. This is a very bad sign. I would love to see an MRI buy on the 1 hour chart to give me a little bit of confidence. But it'll be challenging to get that MRI buy without breaking the prior swing low or the MRI support line, because we just fell a little too far and a little too fast. So I would like for that to maybe rise a little bit and then go down. Okay, next. My moderators are sending me a couple of things. They're just happy I'm back. Told my moderators I'm going to try to do this more consistently over the next, well, the rest of the year, hopefully. GBC premium remains at a negative 14%. The market has started trading. We are rising a little bit, but I'm still waiting for that premium. Once the premium hits, I'm going to manage my portfolio more actively. Until then, I think GBTC is one of the best exposures for Bitcoin because that premium needs to get back to zero, and I'm very confident that it will. People are asking if it looks similar to the distribution top pattern we had in May. Maybe. The pattern looks similar, but I don't believe the outcome is going to be similar, because last time we had this, Bitcoin went up a lot more. And therefore, this was going to be closer to a coin flip, whether this topping pattern is a consolidation to go higher or it's a topping pattern to go lower. Now, for me, these types of consolidations at the top are generally more bullish than bearish. Now, if we do end up going down from this consolidation, it's going to be a lot smaller than the last one because we went up a lot less than last time. So if this does lead to any kind of a serious correction, I believe that correction will end in the low 50,000s or upper 40,000s at worst. But good question. Oil remains in a little bit of a pullback, and if Bitcoin, skyrockets to 90 and oil pulls back to 75 and starts to reverse, I might be reallocating my portfolio away from Bitcoin and into oil, because remember, my conspiracy theory mind plus inflation is putting oil at over $100 per barrel in the very near future. If you guys pay attention to the Clown World Twitter account, I don't have Twitter open here. The last tweet from Clown World, pull it up real quick. One of my favorite accounts to follow on Twitter. Let me grab Clown World for you. Libs of TikTok is also good. Here's Clown World. And the last tweet that they said, oh, maybe not the last one, right here. In Slovenia, drivers must present COVID certificates in order to refuel their car. Again, this goes into my view that the global elites are doing everything in their power to make travel as complicated. And I mean, basically, the North Korea model of travel, where you're not allowed to travel. So they can't just, force you and lock your door. The West is not exactly China or other North Korea or other nations that have the ability to do that. But they will make everything and anything. They will tax you per mile driven. They will kilometer driven. They will make sure that travel, COVID certificates, swabs every 3 hours in order for you to go, across the street. It doesn't matter, right? Anything to prevent you from having freedom of movement. And one of the best ways to prevent freedom of movement is to make oil and gas prices and fuel as expensive as possible, because that does not stop rich people from flying their private jets, but it does stop the average person from, driving cross country, flying to another country, going on vacation. That gets more expensive. So, I mean, if you want to take advantage of this, I will wait for the oil chart to pull back and give me a nice entry, because I do believe oil is headed for $100, $200, $300 a barrel, and not because there's a shortage of oil. There's plenty of oil. I bought into that nonsense also. Stephen Lieb books, when oil hits $200 a barrel and the world is gonna die. I think I read that book in 2007 or 8, something like that. And then he had one before that called The Oil Factor. And then Michael Rupert also has a whole movie out there. I think it was called Crossing the Rubicon or something, where he talked about how the world will die once oil, gets too expensive. No, it's the opposite. There's no shortage of oil at all. None. It's becoming expensive because using oil is causing heart attacks, apparently. Once again, don't blame the messenger. Climate change, which used to be global warming, may cause increased rates of heart defects in babies. So in order to, there it is. There many times. Oh, and inflation. And climate change is causing inflation. And COVID-19 is causing inflation too, apparently. But anyway, so in order to prevent that, in order to prevent climate change, people can't travel. They can't go anywhere. And like I said, the best way to make them not go anywhere is an unreasonably expensive price of oil. Gold, I'm bullish on gold, but Bitcoin is a much better investment at the moment. So I personally am not reallocating gold. I'm always bullish on the S&P 500. It has to be a very rare situation that I become bearish on the S&P 500. S&P 500 had its 1 to 4 candle correction that was preceded by an MRI top, and I believe we are now rising to new all-time highs, which should also, of course, help Bitcoin. Let me look at your comments for a second before I go on. Let me see. Well, there's not much freedom of speech because of the tech companies basically censoring what they don't like, which is the conservative view on any topic. Peak oil should have happened 30 years ago, and it still hasn't. So at some point, either people need to stop listening to the people that were wrong, or the people that were wrong admit that they were wrong. The latter ain't happening anytime soon. Look, I bought into the whole peak oil bullshit as well, right? I know a little better now. And I have a geology degree, and I was buying into the peak oil bullshit. S&P, I'm still bullish. When it's time for Bitcoin to pull back into another bear market, I will see. I might be allocating to oil or Bitcoin, or S&P 500, or maybe something else. So, Vays.com, I can look at a couple of stocks too. Private Q&A, I'm just gonna do a few more till the end of the year. I probably won't be bringing that back. I'll bring something else back. The MRI indicator, you know where to find it. A bunch of conferences are about to go on sale. Get ready. A lot. I think this is going to be my focus. Had so much fun. It's so stressful and it's so like hard, but I had a lot of fun at the event. So I'm going to start utilizing the trading MRI service more in all of my videos. We can take a look at the crypto assets. I got to set stars to favorites because like most of these scams I've never really heard of, but we can glance through it and see if anything is in a trend. So I have no idea what that is. I need my own like portfolio for crypto. BCH versus Bitcoin actually went bullish on a weekly scale. That's interesting. You just got to zoom out further. So here is the BCH, and it went slightly bullish. I mean, it rallied. It went back to below 1%. We can look at the monthly chart. I wish I could like zoom this out more, but we don't have that functionality at this time. Yeah, it's not looking very good. I wouldn't really care about it. Let's see if anything else is trending. Well, Bitcoin versus the dollar. You can see how Bitcoin is bullish across all time frames, right in the service. Bitcoin versus USDT. I mean, this is exactly the same thing, but it depends on which pair you just care more about. I mean, when Bitcoin rallies, shitcoins rally. You can see from the service that Dash, well, it's bullish against the dollar. It doesn't mean that it's bullish against Bitcoin. Dash against Bitcoin, not as bullish, right? It is bearish on the monthly chart. It is bullish on a weekly chart and neutral on the daily chart. Looks like Polkadot found a daily bottom and it's bullish on other time frames. Let's see what this is. Let's see what it looks like. Right, so I think we're waiting for the end of the candle to get that, you know, green arrow for a bottom. We're not sure yet. Again, this is a custom-made service. It's not going to be as robust as TradingView. You use this service to identify trends, and then you can use TradingView to analyze the asset, and then you would use your exchange and the chart on that exchange in order to trade it. Any thoughts on Doge? Well, we can take a look at the trends with this is only the MRI. Okay, so this is Polkadot, I think. See, it just says dot. So you have to know what dot is. I don't have a monthly chart of this. I guess it doesn't have enough data. But we have, yeah, how come I don't have a monthly chart of this? Interesting. Should ask my developers. Well, the weekly chart is just consolidating. Like this isn't really screaming a buy opportunity, but that's what the MRI is showing. We can look at Ethereum. Everyone wants to know about Ethereum. Ethereum versus Bitcoin using Coinbase. It is bearish on the daily, but bullish on the weekly and monthly. Let's see if my monthly shows up here. Yeah, it shows up on Ethereum. You know, it's pulling back a little bit on the daily, but the weekly and the monthly. Yeah, see, the weekly is consolidating very nicely against Bitcoin, and that tends to be bullish based on charts. And the monthly is also consolidating. You know, you had the MRI top on a monthly, but we're about to close at a new all-time high monthly. Not all-time high, sorry, swing high. Ethereum was higher in the past, but I don't believe it'll break the new all-time highs against Bitcoin. I don't. I know a lot of crazy people think that it'll flip Bitcoin, but it won't. Okay. We'll look at commodities real quick. There's oil. You can see how oil is now neutral on a daily and neutral on a weekly. It is still bullish on a monthly. GC is gold. Gold is bullish on daily and weekly, but has not yet flipped on a monthly level. Coffee topped at a monthly chart. Now, coffee is interesting. I actually want to go to TradingView and take a look at coffee, and then we'll probably call it a day. Coffee loves the MRI. Where's coffee? Casey. So if I zoom out, if I go to a week, I think it's a monthly chart. I think I need to go to a monthly chart. Monthly or weekly. Maybe it was weekly. Coffee has been really good historically. Look at that MRI top right there on coffee. Look at that MRI buy right here on coffee. MRI top right there and here. A little hard to spot. You know, it's been fairly good. So look at that bullish trend on coffee. Man, everyone's drinking coffee again. You should check what this is doing to Starbucks stock. Is the high price of coffee good or bad for Starbucks? I'm guessing it's not great. Right, but that's a very bullish trend. Weekly is very bullish. Monthly should be bullish. And daily should be bullish in full. I do have a monthly top on coffee here. So we need to double check. Monthly. Interesting. All right. Maybe I found a little bit of a bug. We've been trying. We delayed the service for a year, trying to fix every bug we can. So those that are using it, if you spot inconsistencies, let me message my team now. It's impossible to check every asset. All right. See a question. Thoughts on I'm bringing Jimmy to talk about Taproot? Yes, not just that. I want to bring the lawyers on to talk about like a bunch of stuff. I want to talk about the climate case versus fake Satoshi. I want to talk about the shooting case in the U.S. There's a lot to talk about. Definitely Taproot, definitely news show. I want to bring Leon to talk about the ETF. Lots of things I want to do, but I just have not had time. Have not had time. All right, that's it, guys. You can sign up for this for free for a little while. Of course, you want to double check this against TradingView. And I just found a bug in coffee, so we'll see what's going on there. The data could be different. The data that we're getting is different than the TradingView data. It's possible. Your indicators are only as good as the data that they're on. ZW is fully bullish. So coffee is fully bullish. ZW is fully bullish. What's ZW? Is that wheat? I think that's wheat. ZW. There's ZR, ZM, ZN, ZW right there. Wheat, yes. And look at that. Wheat. Oh, I was gonna check Starbucks stuff. I mean, it's inflation. Inflation is shown itself in commodities. Bullish across the board on wheat. Let's look at Starbucks. I think it's S-Bucks. Let's see if the high price of coffee is good or bad for Starbucks. Well, Starbucks stock has been dropping, but in generally, it's following the S&P 500. Starbucks has gone up. This is a monthly chart. Starbucks has gone up. I mean, since the crash in 2020, it has done very well. I'll stick to the monthly chart. So since the crash, see, that's tough. Where do I put the line? You know what? Since the breakout of prior swing high, Starbucks went up 27%, and is currently at 16%. And this is from the breakout in December of last year on a monthly scale. I want to compare that to coffee. So it's 27 at the peak since December and 15 now. So I want to compare that to coffee because I'm curious. So since December, right here, that's May, December, February, right here. Coffee is up. Look at that, 70%. So coffee's been the better trade. Starbucks is not keeping up with the price of coffee because they can't raise the price of their product fast enough. Coffee is costing them money. All right, that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you all on the next one. No conferences to promote, but check out the on-demand videos, the MRI, and I don't have anything in my calendar, but I am in Malta to speak at AIBC. Bye, guys. Oh, and this is tradingmri.com is the website for this service. Tradingmri.com. Click on that. No, I didn't do it. Tradingmri.com. Later.